did.
Is it going?
Yes.
Okay. Take one. Okay, this is a video for my good friend in the jukebox business, TJ Strand, and his good close friend Jason Allen, who are going to be hooking up an MP3 player to their wallbox system at the Four Leaf Clover restaurant in Bernardston, Massachusetts. What we have here is an old Seabird Consulate wallbox. It came from the famous East Windsor Diner in East Windsor, Connecticut. It closed several years ago and has since been demolished, but I saved a wallbox from it, which we're going to use to test this system. And what we have here is I made a nice board that's painted nice black hammer tone finish, and it's got the wallbox transformer on it. Inside the wallbox transformer is the little plug-in transformer that powers the MP3 player. I didn't do that. The person that I bought this kit from had already done that. So I left what he did alone and just mounted it to the board. This is fastened to the board. The player is fastened to the board. And we have a terminal strip here where you'll connect the wallbox cables to. As you can see, ignore these wires here. These are just my test wires I'm using to connect this wallbox to it. But you can see black, white, blue, violet, green, gray, yellow, and then this one has none. This one's not used. So that's where you're going to hook your wallbox wires to. Now, before we get started, you pull this cover here on the MP3 player is not fastened. It's just going to sit there loosely. So you pull it off, and basically, as you can see, it's a simple little circuit here. This is the chip. It's a compact flash card, and that's what all your music is stored on. So when you want to change music, you're going to bring your laptop computer that has an adapter card reader that this will plug into, and plug into your USB of your laptop, and then you'll be able to drag and drop and move your files. And I will present a different video showing exactly how to do that later on. To pull the card out, simply grasp it and gently pull it right out, and there you have it. To plug it back in, carefully line it up in the plastic there. It will slide in, and just push it in till it snaps. And that's basically all you need to do. Now when you set it up, this is all plugged in. The power and the wallbox signal wire, that's already set up. You won't have to do that. What you'll need to do is take this cord here. This is your audio input that'll go into the amplifier. You notice that one end has two 1/4-inch phone plugs. That's going to plug into the input of the amplifier. Then you have two RCA plugs. That plugs into the MP3 player adapter. So we're going to go ahead and plug those in. Now you notice that this is a white, this is a black, and this is a red plug, and then here it has white and red. Well, it doesn't really matter. You can plug the red into the red and plug the black into the white. It really doesn't even matter. Even if you plug them reverse, plug the red and the white, it's not going to hurt anything. So you're going to plug them in to where the RCA outlets are. I'll pull them out again. They're right there. Plug them in. Okay. Then I already connected to the terminal strip your speaker output cables, which are already attached and connected in, that will go to the amplifier. These are speak-on connectors. They're a common quick connector used for speakers in DJ setups, because DJs like to be able to just plug in and plug out very quickly without having to twist and strip wires. These are going to plug into the amp, and I will show you that right now. First, let's since we're done having this apart, we'll put the cover back on it, and the cover just goes on, and it's just going to sit there. It doesn't screw or anything, it's just going to sit there. Okay, right here we have a DJ amplifier. It's good for 2,000 watts, but obviously our wallbox speakers draw about 1 watt each. So it's very important that we don't turn the volumes up on the front of this too loud, or you will smoke and fry the speakers, and then the wall boxes will be useless. So we're going to hook up the amplifier now. so you can see it. Can you get this in?
Yep.
First, take the power cord for the amplifier, and it's a computer type, IDC type plug. Plugged in. Okay. And then take the audio input wires to the MP3 player. That's these that have the big 1/4 inch plugs. And you're going to plug them in right here. They plug right in. These two plug sockets, we're not using those. Those are for an XLR input. We're not using those. We're plugging them in here. These two plugs here. Now right here are the speak-on outlets for the speakers. So we'll plug those in. And those are very simple. The way they plug in is they have notches on them. So you're going to have to kind of plug it, feel it, and then when the notches go in, the plug will go in. Now you must turn it to the right until that metal clip clicks. So the way you do it, take the plug, get it in so it plugs in, so the notches line up, it'll plug straight in, then turn it to the right till you hear that click. And then we'll do the next one. There. And that's all you have to do to connect this. The binding post underneath, we're not using those. So we're only using these two outlets and these two outlets, and of course the power supply. We'll set this up so we can plug it in. Okay. We're going to plug the amplifier in. What you're going to need, since we have two different power plugs, we have a power plug for the MP3 player and the wallbox transformer, and then we have the power plug for the amplifier. You're going to need to get a good surge suppressor outlet strip, so everything's protected. You can go pick one up any place. Home Depot, Walmart, any of those places will be fine. You don't have to buy a very expensive one, but a good power strip surge suppressor. Now we're going to plug in the wallbox kit. And I don't know if you can see, but on the front there's two LEDs, a red and a green. They will light up when you first power it up for a few seconds. And when it's in ready standby mode, the red one kind of flickers like that. I don't know if that shows up in the video well or not, but the red one will kind of flicker. There's a remote here, and the remote control is simple. On and off button is your reject button. If you want to reject a song, the little sensor for the receiver for the infrared remote is right there, so you want to point it at this, and you can hit the on and off the reject. If you push the mute button on the remote, that will pause the song that's currently playing on the MP3 player, and the volume, of course. Now what I've done is left the volume turned all the way up as loud as it goes, and adjust the final volume with the volume controls on the front of the amplifier. As far as the numbers are concerned, the manual will show you what all that means, and you really don't have to make any adjustments with the numbers, because that's programming what type of wall box we're using with it, whether you want background music or anything with it. You don't need to mess with that. It's already programmed, it's already set. So you can simply just store the remote right there, and it's there for you when you service the machine if you need to use it. Now, assuming that you've connected your wall box wires up and got everything powered on, we're going to turn on the amp, of course. The amplifier has two fans in the back with the vents on the front and on the side. There are no vents on the top. So if you want to, since you're in a small NSM console 120 cabinet, you can put this board on top of the amp, because there's no vents on the top of the amp that you could block. So if you have room, even on this big transformer, you can stack it on top of the amp. That's not going to hurt it. So first thing we're going to do is we are going to play the theme song of the Four Leaf Clover restaurant, which is the I'm looking over a 4-leaf clover, and that's in slot E1. Now, if you can see the front LEDs, can we get those in? You'll notice that it's ready and standby, that's flickering. And when we make a wall box selection, the green will flash to the pulses of the wall box transmitting. So here we go. Okay, we're going to turn this down for a minute. You'll notice that when it's playing, the green will be off, and the red just gives a little quick, short flash every second or so. That's normal for it while it's playing. Now, if the lights are flashing differently, there are codes that they flash, such as for errors or other problems. And again, the manual, the little short, small instructions will show you what those mean. I don't think you'll have any problems with it, but again, you'll need to read the manual. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. It's ready to work, ready to make selections. As far as the amplifier is concerned, do not turn these volume controls past 20, or again, you will cook the speakers, and the speakers will smoke, and it will be pretty bad, so you don't want to do it. I've even put a label up on the top that says, warning, turning volumes past 20 will destroy speakers. So when you unpack this out of the box, it's best to just turn these completely down, and then when you get there and get ready to power it up, bring them up slowly to set the volume for the restaurant. I found out that even with just a one wall box, leaving them on 20 is plenty loud enough. And the reason why we're able to use one amplifier and connect a bunch of wall box speakers to it is because this amplifier can handle a 2, 4, or 8 ohm load. The wall box speakers are 32 ohms each. So having 7 wall boxes paralleled on the amp, that's barely a 4 ohm load. So that's plenty fine for this amp to handle. Again, this is an inexpensive amp. If something happens to the amp, you can buy another one for $100. It's not like a jukebox where you have to buy a $500 amp. That's not the case with this. So that's pretty simple, and that's pretty much all it is. We'll make another video showing you how to change music on the chip. If you have any questions, of course, you know my number, so I think that's about it. Cut.